Hi friends, and welcome. On today's adventure, we're going to do some traveling. We're going to start in northern Colorado, out by Meeker, Colorado, where we'll catch up with our good friend and outfitter, Win Condit of Wycon Safaris. We're going to do a do-it-yourself kind of elk hunt on a new piece of ground he has there. And even though this hunt only lasted a day and a half before we got totally washed off the mountain by 3 straight days of rain, that day, really that one morning, well, it was really hard to believe. Now after that, we're going to come all the way back to western Michigan, where I'm going to take that very same stick pusher and go out and try to keep a 20-year Thanksgiving tradition alive for my family. I'm going to hunt fall wild turkey with my bow. But first, let's run out to Meeker. Let's head up on the mountain. Friends, even in one day, we saw so many elk, so many great bulls. I'll be back there just as quick as the season opens, you can bet on it. Hey, I'm your host, Kyle Randall. This is my Wilderness Journal, and we're going on an archery elk hunt right now. From the quakies and oak brush to the live water running through the property, plenty of thick cover, lots of critters moving about. All you had to do was look around you and you could tell this was elk country. And fortunately for us, with one small exception, we would be the only hunters on this mountain for the next 5 days. Unfortunately for us, by 5 that afternoon, we could already hear the thunder of the advancing storm.
There's some weather there.
That first evening, we went out and just kind of took stock of the place, and after hiking around for a while, 2 things were very clear. First of all, up high, it was already fall, and there was elk sign everywhere. Secondly, it was clear there was some serious weather heading in our direction. The weatherman said that a front from northern Canada was heading down on us, and it was going to hang on, so I knew the following morning might be our only chance. We set out an extra hour early, hiked as high as we could, and before it even got light out, we could hear elk. We could see and hear elk moving all over the far hillside. I decided to do a little calling, see how receptive they'd be. And from everywhere I could hear cows and calves calling back at me. And it wasn't just cows and calves. I could see bulls out on the hillside.
Standing right on the open there. Yep. Let's see if we can talk to him. I don't think he's coming. We can see. There's the bull. He's pushing him like he's a big boy.
We could hear cows calling, bulls bugling, coyotes howling. We could even see a young bull right out in front of us. What we hadn't seen was any big boys, at least not yet. There were elk crossing and calling all over the far side of the draw we were set up on. We could even hear them down in the brush below us. But so far, none of them had worked their way up onto our side where I could actually see them up close. Had this been a rifle hunt, that'd have been fine, but this was archery. We needed, despite the risk, to move and try to get out in front of them before they all went up the mountain and it was all over. We crawled out onto a small point and hit a roadblock. There was a bunch of cows and calves and one bull down in the ravine right below us. And then I noticed coming through a small opening in a saddle off to our left.
See a couple of cows. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
A whole nother line of elk was coming up the mountain.
There's going to be a bigger bull.
There's a bull right. The last one's a bull.
There has to be a bigger bull. He wouldn't just up and leave.
And then
There's see some
Another bull. There's 2 bulls in a row. There's still more coming up.
This group had several more satellite bulls with it and a few raghorns, but I just couldn't believe that this many cows would not have a big old herd bull with them somewhere. Somewhere there had to be some big boys hanging out.
There, the first one's working across, it looks like. That's a bull right there, out in the open by himself. Hang on.
We watched as the herd started to separate, and then some of them turned and started coming up our side of the ravine.
Kind of coming in our direction.
Yeah, they are.
Let's kind of crawl over to them bushes just in case they do come in.
I started crawling forward to get into a better position. That is, until I ran into even more elk. And as I sat there studying that bunch, something caught my attention. Something up high in the trees. And then I realized I wasn't looking at a tree. I was looking at an antler. There was a monster bull straight down the ravine from me. This, friends, just in case you've never seen one, is the real deal. This is what a monster wild bull elk looks like. And yes, even at a distance when they're walking right straight at you, it's pretty impressive. I small bull squealed and he bugled back, and I thought, well, at least I got your attention, you know I'm here. I kept calling and he kept looking around, just flashing those huge ivory tips this way and that above the trees. I kept thinking, hey, come on over here, put me in my place. Come on, big boy, show me what you got.
Is that a 7x7?
270 chin music right now. Because he's toast standing there. You know what?
How far is that?
I kept calling, gave him my very best sexy elk talk, but in the end, he turned and followed the real elk right on up the mountain. Man. That, friends, was one of the biggest bull elk I have ever seen in the wild anywhere. He had 6 or 7 points on his left side. I can't tell you how many points on his right side. And he was huge. I'm guessing 360, 370, I don't know. He was a monster, and he was crossing right up in front of us. I knew that if we were going to have any chance to get on that bull or any other bull, we needed to get moving. We needed to angle up and try to gain some altitude to get above him. Unfortunately, as soon as we started moving, we hadn't gone 20 yards, and we ran smack dab into the middle of a whole bunch more elk. I gave a couple more calls just before moving, just to make sure, and we weren't going anywhere. There was another bull standing there looking back at us over the trees. I started looking around some more, and there were more elk coming up through that saddle where the big bull had come.
I haven't seen that bull come out of there yet, though. I did. Trying to find that bull that was with them. He's not. There are elk everywhere on the side of that mountain, and there is no way for us to get there. We'd have to go clean back around and down that big ridge. We'd get there till noon.
There's some lower down too. See them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There he just squealed at us.
Look at that bull. Look at that. He's been wallowing. He's all dark. Look at that thing.
9 o'clock in the morning, you could hear the traffic 3 miles down the mountain already headed to town to start their work day, but we were still seeing elk, and great elk.
Well, that black one's a nice one.
Is he?
Yep.
Another huge 6x6 bull, but I couldn't get anywheres near him. Every time we tried to move, we would bump into more elk. They were everywhere on the side of that mountain, and I knew if we blew them up, they would all be gone in an instant. All I could do was sit there and try to call one or some of them over to where we were at, and then hopefully I could get a shot.
Just cross the opening up high. See where the cow and the calf are in the middle? He's way up in the upper right-hand corner. He's right at the top edge, walking along. He ain't gonna be there long.
Oh yeah.
See, he's black from wallowing.
Yeah, he's nice.
That's a big 6x. That's a dang nice bull too. Small bull, stovepipe or something. That's 4 shooter bulls we seen cross that hillside. There, shoot, there goes another one. Here?
Yeah.
There's a bull.
Is that a spike? Where's that?
I don't know what that is.
We stood there calling and glassing, and bull after bull, shooters and spikes and raghorns. Elk just kept pouring out of that timber.
That ain't him neither.
You sure? Yeah.
That's an alright bull.
Big.
That's an alright one, but that ain't the...
What are the top, the one that splits? Those
That's
things.
his whale. He's good there.
His whale is pretty big, ain't it?
Yeah, but the other one I saw, you go the 2 this way, and then the 3rds, and the 4ths. The 4ths were 2.5, 3 feet long.
Holy cow.
That ain't him, trust me.
I trust you.
What do you think? Should I use my 350 a little high or my 400 just a touch low?
400 a little low.
400 low? Give it what? 12 feet for wind?
There were some tremendous shooter bulls all over that mountainside, but there was no way to get within stick and string distance. I was just gonna have to wait. Another great bull, even more satellites, but I just couldn't get him to come close enough. I couldn't get him into stick distance. Had we been rifle hunting, I could have tagged out a dozen times, I think. But the basic fact of archery hunting is you gotta get close, and I just couldn't get him in there tight enough. Friends, we were just gonna have to sit there and enjoy the show, let him get up the mountain and get to bed, and then come back this afternoon and set up below him and hopefully catch him coming down the mountain going to feed. At least that was the plan. The only thing, I sort of forgot to check with that aforementioned weather guesser, because by noon it was raining in the high country, and it never quit raining for 3 straight days. We couldn't get back up there no matter how hard we tried. I don't know if you've ever hunted the mountains, but take my word for it, if you haven't, no matter how bad you want it, you just can't push mud uphill. It don't work. Our hunt was over, but I have to tell you, even though we really had just that one day, it was well worth the price of admission, and I truly want to thank Win Condit from out at Wycon Safaris. What a tremendous place. Now, let's shift gears. Let's head back to Michigan. I need to collect a wild turkey for the Randall family Thanksgiving table. We've been doing this for 20 straight years, and there's no way I'm going to let a tradition fall apart just because I only got a couple of days. I was in a pop-up blind with my stick pusher, videotaping myself at my very favorite time of the year. Fall turkey hunting, when the colors are all awash, is the absolute perfect time to be out, if you ask me. And videotaping myself hunting with archery gear for a target like a wild turkey, well, to some that might sound a little crazy, but to me, when it works, when you call in some Toms or Jakes and you can fool them and tape it and get one with your bow, well, let's just say it's really satisfying to be able to do it yourself and get it done. That is, of course, if you can get it done. And despite the fact that there was a group of jakes working their way in my general direction down through the field, there was some doubt that I could get it done. You see, I'd left myself a mere 2 days to try and fill that tag.
There's a group of jakes down there, way down there.
And even though I did have a group of jakes working down in the field, I'd already used up most of my first day.
That buck's rubbing his horns on a big branch in that brush
And
pile.
that buck walking out, deciding to rub his antlers on that downed tree limb and cutting the turkeys off, turning them back the other way, well, that certainly wasn't building my confidence any. So, my friends, you could see how I might have a few doubts as to whether or not I actually could get this done.
You're going into the woods. They're not coming.
Trust me, friends, if you're not a turkey hunter, 2 days can be not nearly enough to get this done, especially with archery gear.
They're coming out. They're coming back.
On the other hand, it's like I always say, it only takes one, right? I had 'em looking and listening again, and then I had 'em coming. And this time, there wasn't anything in between me and those birds save my decoy.
They get in here. We're going to make Thanksgiving.
I had 'em on the line. Now it was time to see could I reel 'em in. These weren't the big toms of a springtime. These were young birds, jakes, nice, tender, eatable jakes, just what the cook had ordered. And all I needed to put one on the menu was just a few more yards, just a few more steps.
Put him in the trap. There he is. He's down right there. Right there. Man, for the middle of October, it's hot. That is Thanksgiving supper right there. At least a small part of it. Kyle Jr. helped with a part of it. This is just a jake. It's the perfect eating kind of bird. And I tell you what, we'll all have a little piece. And we'll all take a moment and bow our heads and thank the Creator for this wonderful bounty and all that we get to share in it. You know, this is a special time of year for us, hopefully for you. We have so much to be thankful, not the least of which is you. And to be able to come out here and keep this tradition alive and harvest a wild turkey in the fall for the Thanksgiving dinner menu, it's something so special. If you haven't tried it, take up your bow, your shotgun, get out there and give fall turkey hunting a try. It's another great reason to be in the outdoors at a beautiful time of the year. The leaves are finally changing and it is gorgeous. And I have to tell you, fall turkey hunting can actually be more challenging than spring turkey hunting. So pick up your old stick pusher and give it a try like we do, and maybe you'll put one on the plate. Start a Thanksgiving tradition of your own. I'm going to go pick up my dinner, you know. You don't want to be out there leaving it laying in the dirt.
My friends, whenever I go afield, be it in the woodlands or on the waters, in the mountains or on the prairies, wherever I am, what I am most thankful for is not the having nor the getting. It is the life and the liberty and that one chance, the pursuit. That, my friends, is how you make Thanksgiving on a stick. At least I do. What a great hunt, a perfect bird for the table, and a great time of the year to be out chasing them. That early fall, when the colors are awash, the cool mornings, the warm afternoons, I absolutely love it above all others. And I truly like chasing them thunder chickens around anytime I can get after them. I know what you're thinking, and you're absolutely right. I have much to be thankful for. I am truly blessed. And among those blessings, I count each and every one of you. Without you, the Wilderness Journal viewer family, there wouldn't be a program, there wouldn't be a Wilderness Journal. And I truly continue to pray that each and every one of you are blessed equally. I hope you get out there. I hope you enjoy this harvest season. Try that turkey hunting in the fall. It's a great time and a great way to put some food on the table. Maybe you'll be out there getting a big old buck or catching some of those late season fish before it ices up. No matter what you do, get out. It's the time of year. It's our time. Go out, take your family, and enjoy it. And remember, the good Lord does richly bless each and every one of us. Our family will be together again this year. We are so fortunate, and we truly hope we bump into some of you and your family. And you know if we do, we're going to stop and share that cup and a fire. And if I don't see you out there, friends, well, then I'll wait for you right back here so we can share another adventure from my Wilderness Journal.